Greetings and salutations. My name is Chance Kelly, and this is Video Ghoulash. First off, I just want to say thank you to everyone out there for all of the beautiful, sweet, heartfelt messages on my last video. My mom is doing well. She's kicking butt. But thank you for that love. So I wanted to do a quick vid on Kringle because they're releasing their stuff Thursday, midnight, this Thursday. Friday morning, if you want to be technical. So that's midnight Eastern time. And yeah, I think we're all pumped for it, right? Kringle's pretty much the king of Halloween and has the most anticipated Halloween drops. I always look forward to also like Homeworks and Goose Creek are a couple of my favorites as well. Witch City Wicks already did theirs. Lunar Light Company, they're doing theirs coming up too. So a bunch of really cool stuff. I want to focus on Kringle. I don't have any of the new stuff, but I've really loved watching all the videos for the people who got the PR and got the new candles. That's been really cool to watch. So the returning scents I wanted to talk about. I have some of them and wanted to talk about the ones that I like the most. And there's a couple of those that I haven't done any reviews on at all. Before I get into that though, the second drop, which everybody's being real tight-lipped about, I'm not affiliated with Kringle, so I'm gonna make some guesses. And my guess is you're going to see 3 wicks. I think 3 wicks are going to be in the second drop. And I also have a sneaky suspicion that Kringle Candle Halloween is coming back this year. I don't have any like inside information or anything. That's just a guess. I know a lot of us love the Kringle Candle Halloween stuff that they did in the past, and it's been gone for a little bit, so I kind of think that's what's going to happen. I hope. We'll see. So I'm going to start off with a couple that I've never reviewed before on this channel. The first one being Hallowed Ground. As you can see, I've got some burns on it. I got this late last year. And it's a really, really beautiful scent. It's smoky, velvety. It could lean cologne-like for some people, although I don't think it does. It's got a really beautiful tonka and an elevated kind of patchouli. And it's musky and a lot prettier than if you just read the notes, what you would think. Which, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to read what Kringle says about it. Hallowed Ground. A ghostly good blend of smoked woods and sweet notes for wonderful smells on a frightful night. The top notes are saffron and smoky cedarwood. The mid note is honey and sage. And the base notes are sandalwood, musk, vanilla, patchouli, and tonka. And it's sweet and dense and smoky and kind of fluffy with the vanilla and the musk. They kind of haunt the thing, kind of give it a foggy sort of essence, even though it's a smoky, woody, masculine, in my perspective, leaning candle. When you burn it, the smoked cedarwood comes forward a little more, so you get this hit of spice. That spice that's in a deep cedarwood. Kind of reminds me of a man's study sort of a candle without any tobacco or anything like that in it. It's really kind of a gorgeous elevated patchouli in there as well. It's not a dirty kind of patchouli. I think the tonka weaves with the patchouli really well. So patchouli isn't like forefront or anything. If you're not a fan of patchouli, I still think you could enjoy this one. I actually really love this candle. It's fantastic. The throw on it, it's a cemetery. Yeah, I'll give it a cemetery. It throws really, really well. It'll fill your room and do more for you. Autumnal-wise, I'll give it 4 leaves. It does feel autumnal because it feels also Halloween-centric, which I'll give 3 jack-o'-lanterns for. Chills wise, I'm going to give it 3 chills. It is kind of a creepy candle. Conceptually, it's kind of like if you were smelling the inside of a casket that was recently vacated, except there's no decomposition, vanilla and musk and heavy wood. And it's a sweet but deep, rich, gorgeous, complicated scent, I think. And it's smoky and kind of mossy, which that's a recipe that I love. So if this comes back, Hallowed Ground, I recommend picking it up. Next up, we've got Graveyard Night. Oh yeah, yeah. So this, you're hit with a gourmand, kind of smells like pancakes, but it also has this sharp, acidic note that reminds me of stomach bile. Let's read the notes on this thing. Graveyard Night. It says, we've conjured up a mixture of pumpkins, subtle fruits, spices, softened, and sweet creamy milk. The top is caramel and fruity and bayberry anise star. The mid is pumpkin, spices, clove, and cinnamon. And the base is sweet, milk, musk, and powdery. When you burn it, like immediately you get like a pumpkin pancake with subtle hints of fruit. And you've got that kind of sour milk weird note, which honestly I didn't know if that thing was going to go away. It does. It blends in. You've got what is it? You've got the rich anise star and this kind of sharp bitter of that what is it? The sharp bitter of the bayberry, right? It sinks down and it kind of joins the milky kind of powdery essence. So when you're burning this, the stomach bile goes away, thankfully. And you just get a beautiful gourmand kind of pumpkin pancake maple experience. The throw on this is mausoleum. Cemetery. So like mausoleum and a cemetery. It's kind of a mid-high throw. So, it'll fill your room and do a little bit more. Autumnal wise, I'm only going to give it 3 leaves. It smells like pumpkin pancakes with some kind of fruit notes in there. And that's fall. Sure, that's fall. Halloween centric, I'm going to give it 2 jack-o'-lanterns. Again, it's fall centric. It does remind you of Halloween a little bit. That's why I'm only going to give it 2. Overall, it's an okay candle. I wouldn't purchase it again because it's just a gourmand pumpkin pancake kind of candle with a maple experience and kind of a powdery, sort of milky essence to it, which is not as interesting for me as a lot of stuff that Kringle has. But if you're a fan of gourmands and you want something like that, yeah, Graveyard Night. And by the way, how cool is the label, right? But yeah, Graveyard Night's pretty good if you like that kind of thing. So the rest of these I've reviewed before, but I like these ones a lot. If you want, you can check out kind of a more complex, deeper review right at the link, because I'm going to go through these a little bit fast. But Sinister, what I'll kick off with. And this is just a gorgeous... I've heard some people say it smells like a jelly donut. I think a really evil jelly donut, maybe. I've always thought this kind of smelled like a dark wassail. Or like a demonic kind of a wine. It's got wood notes in it. It's like a complex red wine that's got some kind of creep and musk and interesting notes that are flying around through it. It's really, really good. This one was one that I was really surprised how much I loved it. It's got a coconut note in it. That coconut's so cool because it can do things that are sweet and enhance different notes, but it also can lend a toasty kind of savory element to a candle. I'll read the notes on Sinister real quick. You got the top is ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cardamom. The mid is Moscato wine, dark plum, and cranberries. And the base is amber, vanilla, coconut, and musk. And the Moscato wine, the dark plum, the cranberries, I feel like are the star with that coconut. But the amber and musk and vanilla sort of round things out and turn this into a really complex and interesting scent. The cinnamon and the nutmeg and cardamom, ginger and all that, they're all there, but you know, kind of light, just floating across into the mix, creating that full ambiance. Sinister's a really, really cool candle. Again, that was the surprise one for me last year that I liked so much. The throw on it is a mausoleum. It filled my room really easily. Autumnal wise, I'm going to give it 1 leaf. Halloween centric wise, I'm going to give it 2 jack-o'-lanterns. And chill wise, I think I'll give it 2 chills. It's one of those candles that to me is spooky any time of year. The low ratings on it being autumnal or Halloween centric, don't let that dissuade you from this. This is a really dark, complex, beautiful wine and plum scent that you can do year round if you want a little creepy in your life. Next up, we've got Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is I think it's a poison apple based candle. And they didn't bring poison apple back this year, but they do have this returning. So if you like poison apple, this is a very different take on a poison apple. I'll read you the notes for this one. You've got a top note of poison apple, green, aldehydic, fir, and marine. The mid notes are pine, cinnamon, and clove. And the base notes are sandalwood, musk, cedarwood, guaiac wood, and moss. The experience of this candle is really cool because you get the poison apple. Burning the poison apple brightens up even more, gets a little more sour. But it has this gorgeous green and this gorgeous aldehydic. If you can, like after the rain, right? After the rain, sort of that petrichor-y sort of vibe. The marine, the aldehydic, it feels wet, it feels spooky. It conceptually brings me to Halloween night, maybe cold on the coast somewhere, walking the neighborhood in the woods. You've got the green all around you, and it's wet and it's damp, and you can smell that rain essence and the creep of Halloween in the air because it's got those nice spices, those fall-centric spices. But the poison apple is out front, and it's the star of the show. I didn't love this candle when I first got a hold of it, but as I've burned it more and more, I've really grown to love it. So the throw on this, I'm going to give it a mausoleum leaning into a cemetery. It's a medium-high throw. It's definitely going to not hide itself within anything. You'll know it's going. Yeah, you'll know it's burning. Autumnal-wise, I think it's really autumnal. I'm going to give it 4 leaves. Halloween-centric, I'm going to give it 5 Jackos. It does remind me of a wet, creepy Halloween night, which also makes it chills 3. So yeah, what a cool candle. It sparks my imagination and reminds me of those dark times in the neighborhood. If you're like the last trick-or-treater out and people have gone dark on you and the houses have turned their lights off. And it feels kind of cold and wet and a little creepy. Yeah, I love this one. And especially, again, if you like poison apple, this is a different kind of poison apple. So check it out. Witching Hour. Okay, look, I love this candle. This is one of my favorite Kringle candles of all time. It's sweet, woody, smoky. This is just such a beautiful scent. It's kind of like Witch's Cauldron. It's definitely Witch's Cauldron's sister, prettier sister. Let's get into the notes of Witching Hour. Top notes are dried berries and earthy spices. Mid notes are jasmine petals, blue cypress, and violet leaf. And the base notes are smoky, moss, sandalwood, and tonka bean. And, you know, it's got this smoky, creepy, beautiful element. Witching Hour is the perfect name for this candle. The jasmine petals, the dried berries, and the violet leaf, they brighten this thing up. Really, really gorgeous. You've got these earthy spices. They kind of lean in and play with the sandalwood and that, what is it? The blue cypress. That's an absolutely gorgeous scent in here that's elevated. it might be the star of this, possibly, but the tonka and moss, they flourish in this environment that melds together into one of the most beautiful and bewitching scents. I can't say enough good things about this one. I love it. It gets a ghoul. The throw on this is a mausoleum. It fills your room really easily. It's a subtle scent, a light, airy, aromatic kind of a scent, but it's strong. It throws really well. Autumnal-wise, it's a 4. Definitely feeling the fall and Halloween vibes as well. So Jackos, it's going to get a 4 as well. And chills-wise, it's definitely alluring and a bit spooky. It's going to get 3 chills from me. Year-round, I keep this candle out when I want a little Halloween and I want a little spooky. So if you watched my last video, you might remember that I wasn't super impressed with Witch's Cauldron. It had been built up for me, I think, too much. I did recognize the magic in this candle. It's very simple. The notes are clove, citrus, cedar, and incense. And it is a very gorgeous cedar candle. The clove is light, it's perfect. The citrus is there. It's kind of a sour shot. And it has a really interesting sort of a deeper kind of incense to it. It's not a powdery incense at all. And the more time I've spent with this, the more I've fallen in love. So I've got a little bit different story to tell, like Trick or Treat on Witch's Cauldron. I'm kind of obsessed with this candle now because it just vibes so hard, and you get the witch thing. You get that witchy vibe from it. And that, it's basically a woods candle that almost feels like a supernatural woods that witches live in. Spooky. It's really cool. So, I mean, if you've never tried Witch's Cauldron by Kringle, it's a must. The throw on it is a cemetery. It's strong thrower. It's exactly where it needs to be. It's going to fill up more than one room in your house. It's a banger like that. It's going to get 5 leaves, 5 Jackos. It's very autumnal because it's very Halloween. It exudes Halloween. And chills wise, I think I'm going to give it 3. It's not like the spookiest candle I've ever smelled, but it is creepy. It does transport you and evoke certain things like a witchy woods. What else is there to say about Witch's Cauldron? It's an enigma, and if you haven't tried it and you like Halloween candles, race out and get it, because I'm giving it a ghoul. Lastly, there's Cemetery Lane, another one I definitely recommend picking up if you like dirt. And it's kind of a damp dirt. It's not super wet dirt, and it's not dry dirt. Kind of smells like a graveyard. Kind of smells like you're in a haunted mansion. It's got some complex notes going on in it. You've got the top notes is dark, mysterious musk, so no secrets told there. And midnight iris. The mid notes are patchouli and dried oak. The base is creeping moss, dusky cedar, and sweet earth. It's all notes that I love, and they meld together in this candle to evoke a haunted house in the middle of a graveyard. It's an absolutely transportative experience. The throw on it has let me down a little bit as I've been burning it more, though. I'm gonna give it a coffin and a mausoleum, so it's kind of a low medium. I wish this thing threw better, and maybe that's just mine. I don't know. Maybe I've hit a pocket in the candle. Things perform differently the more you burn them, the more time you spend with them. Sometimes you'll hit pockets that don't have quite as much oil in them and whatnot. Kringle is a high quality product. I mean, when you get these things, you are picking up a high quality item. So, maybe mine's dudded out in the middle a little bit. But yeah, the throws let me down a touch on this. That being said, leaves, I'm going to give it 4. Jackos, I'm going to give it 4. Chills, I'm going to give it 4. It's a pretty darn creepy candle Reminds me of Dungeon, but definitely much more subdued than Dungeon, much more subtle than Dungeon. So if you like dirt, earth, patchouli, that dried oak is awesome. I think the secret though with this is the midnight iris. There's obviously dark mysterious musk, which is some concoction they're not going to tell you everything that's in, and the midnight iris, which is the top notes. That's the first stuff that hits you, and it's gorgeous. I highly recommend Cemetery Lane. So if you want to see a deeper dive on these candles and some other ones from last year, this is the link to that video. Go give it a watch. I'm super stoked on this drop from Kringle. The 6 new ones sound incredible, and the returning ones sound awesome. I've never tried Sleepy Hollow, so yeah, I don't know why. That sounds like it's custom tailored to me. I'd love to get that. 7 Days sounds interesting. Never tried that one. Coven I've never tried. I've heard really good things about that. Kind of a powdery, witchy incense sort of vibe. And I actually like powdery and incensey candles a lot. Powdery can go either way. But all of those sound really interesting to me. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Philly Candleman is doing a live tomorrow evening, Thursday. It starts at 11 p.m. leading up to the Kringle drop. I will be there. I'm going to definitely join that. And speaking of lives, Virgil at South of Sanity and I are going to do a live pretty soon. We don't know the date yet, but it is upcoming. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to get those 6 new scents, and we're going to go live, and we're going to open it up and do first impressions when we receive the 6 new Kringles. So really pumped on that. That's going to be fun. As always, keep it creepy, and I'll smell you later.